Nick Jr. is a programming block on the Nickelodeon television channel, seen on Nickelodeon weekday mornings. It is aimed at young children aged 2 to 8 years. On September 28, 2009, Noggin was renamed Nick Jr. and the block was temporarily renamed The Playdate. In 2014, the Nick Jr. name began to be used for both the block and network. It is owned by MTV Networks, a division of Viacom International. History 1988 to Euro 1994 From the morning of January 4, 1988, onwards, the Nick Jr. brand was in place and in use, with an approximate 6-hour portion of the Nickelodeon broadcast day, at 9 a.m. Euro 3 p.m. every weekday. The logo for the new Nick Jr. brand became a distinctive feature for the block. At first, the Nick Jr. logo was orange for Nick, and blue for Jr. The logo varied in the shape or species. Until July 1990, a former staple of the Nickelodeon lineup, Pin Heel was featured, originally for 3 hours, then for 1 hour during spring-summer 1989. When Eureka's Castle premiered in September 1989, Pin Heel was split into 2 separate half-hours in the morning and afternoon, where it remained until July 1990. Much of the remaining time in the lineup, particularly early in this time period, was devoted to animated series, many of which were of foreign origin. Programming of both live-action and puppeted preschool programming also appeared during this time. Many of the Nick Jr. network IDs were produced by VideoWorks Incorporated with 2D animation, CGI animation and clay animation. In 1993, Nick Jr. introduced its first rebrand in 5 years, with idents, promos, and bumpers featuring an orange figure with the word Nick it resembling a parent and a blue figure with the word Jr. in it resembling a child doing activities. The promos and bumpers featured a female announcer and some promos and bumpers featured kids holding hands and walking around the Nick Jr. logo. Several Nick Jr. promos and bumpers carried the slogan Grow, Learn, and Play. This rebrand was short-lived, as it lasted until Face was introduced in the autumn of the following year. 1994 Euro 2004 The final pre-Face program aired on Friday, September 2, 1994 and it was the world of David the Gnome right before the closing ID of Nick Jr. and a handover to Friday's Nickelodeon program schedule. After that, they had an advertisement for Nick Jr.'s upcoming rebrand, also mentioning Face, the block's mascot. On Monday, September 5, 1994, preceding the first network ID, Nick Jr. introduced Face, the animated host that introduced, and wrapped up shows, and smaller variety pieces. More than 400 Face promos were created and produced by Nick Digital, and later at Data Motion Arts from 1995 to 1999 and again from 2001 to 2002, and then at Napoleon Videographics from 1999 to Euro 2003, and finally at VP Cartoons from 2003 to Euro 2004. From this point forward, he changed colors, moods, and feelings, and during the 1994 to 1995 television season, a slew of new shows and shorts premiered, including Nick Jr. Little Big Room, Muppet Time, Gullah Gullah Island, Allegra's Window, The Busy World of Richard Scarry, and Winky Love. Nick Jr. also moved its sign-off time to 2 p.m. starting that day. Programming during this period included Allegra's Window, Little Bear, Gullah Gullah Island, The Busy World of Richard Scarry, The Wobulous World of Dr. Seuss, Franklin, Rupert, Rugrats, Jim Henson's Muppet Babies, The Muppet Show, Eureka's Castle, Bob the Builder, and Blue's Clues. Face, in the context of his segments, was capable of materializing objects such as an astronaut, a robot, a clown, a window, a traffic light, stars, even wood, and of creating any number of Foley sound effects including a signature 3-note trumpet noise, which he often made after mentioning the programming block's name, followed by a nod and small chuckle. Face was voiced by Chris Phillips who also voiced Roger Klotz on Disney's Doug and various promos and TV commercials. Original Face was removed from the lineup on Friday, August 29, 2003. On Monday, September 1, 2003, Face was given a new look, which added eyebrows and a chin and straightened the eyes by inverting their colors from white dots on black eyes to black, larger dots on white eyes. Also, his voice turned into a DJ rapper-like voice. Also, a new series of segments called Nick Jr. Play Along debuted, and the new segments were hosted by two fun, live-action hosts Robin and Zach. Alongside Robin and Zach were four sock puppets called the Feet Beats. New Face and the Play Along segments were removed from the lineup on Friday, October 8, 2004. 2004 2007 On Monday, October 11, 2004, Nick Jr. introduced a new mascot named Piper a Possum, and also was branded by a new slogan, Nick Jr. We love to play. Piper a Possum's last appearance was Friday, September 7, 2007. The last program that aired with this look was Go, Diego, Go! 2007 2009 On Monday, September 10, 2007, Nick Jr. was updated and introduced new graphics and music. The Nick Jr. logo's shapes resembled plushies now. The plushies seen in the logos included robots, bunnies, and monkeys. This saw the new look, which indicates preschoolers to play and learn with Nick Jr. characters. The first program aired with this look was Dora the Explorer. 2009 2014 On February 2, 2009, Nickelodeon removed the Nick Jr. branding from its lineup. Nick Jr. shows continued airing on the slot, but with the Nickelodeon branding, replacing the Nick Jr. branding, and the addition of more frequent commercial advertising. The final program was Ni Hao, Kai Lan. On September 28, 2009, Nick Jr. replaced Noggin as a 24/7 TV channel. This makes it the first that Nickelodeon does not brand its preschool shows in a program block since 1988. 2014 present In May 2014, Nickelodeon began using the Nick Jr. name in advertisements to refer to both the network and block. When aired on the Nick Jr. channel, commercials for programs broadcast on Nickelodeon's Nick Jr. block usually end with Nick Jr. over on Nickelodeon to differentiate the titles. Programming cross-programming with other networks cross-programming is a term used in broadcast programming. From 2000 to 2002 and from 2005 to 2006, Nick Jr. also ran a Saturday morning children's block for CBS entitled Nick Jr. on CBS, featuring shows from the programming block. Between 2002 and 2005, it was part of the general Nick on CBS block, which also included programming from the main Nickelodeon channel. The block was replaced September 16, 2006, when DIC Entertainment started the KOL Secret Slumber Party Cookie Jar TV on CBS. Until the fall of 2006, Spanish-language U.S. network Telemundo offered Nick Jr. programming in Spanish on Saturday and Sunday mornings, as part of the Nickelodeon en Telemundo block, which featured such shows as Rugrats and Dora the Explorer. In the fall of 2006, after the sale of Telemundo to NBC and the CBS Viacom split, Nick programming was replaced with a Spanish-language version of NBC on Television's Cubo block. On April 5, 2008, competing Spanish network Univision added Spanish-dubbed versions of Dora the Explorer and Go, Diego, Go! To their Saturday morning Planeta U lineup. For a brief time in summer 2010, Tier 3S aired a daily block of Spanish-dubbed Nick Jr. programs under the name Tier 3S Junior Pistas de Blue and Wonder Pets. Were featured in the block. Face made an appearance during the 2012 New Year edition of the 90s Are All That, Teen Nick's 1990s-oriented late-night block. Face's appearances consisted of out-of-context clips that make him appear to be drunk while making adult comments. Face later made an appearance on The Splat for a Halloween promo in 2015. See also, Dance and Sing. The Best of Nick Jr. Nick Jr. Nickelodeon. References. External links, Nick Jr.